Wait a moment before you keep scrolling. If you or someone close to you depends on Social Security, SSI, or SSDI, what I am about to share over the next few minutes could truly impact your financial situation in 2026. Congress has just passed something major, and the mainstream media barely gave it attention. They skimmed over the details that matter most to the more than 70 million Americans who rely on these programs every single month to cover bills, buy food, and keep their homes running. We are talking about real updates, real dollars, and real deadlines that you simply cannot ignore. Whether you are retired and receiving Social Security, living with a disability and on SSDI, a low-income senior relying on SSI, or someone who has been waiting for financial relief like a stimulus payment, this new law affects all of it. And if you do not fully understand what has changed, what you now qualify for, and what actions you need to take, there is a serious risk that money meant for you may never reach your hands. This is not speculation. This is not clickbait. This is official legislation approved by Congress that directly impacts your benefits, your payments, and your financial stability starting right now in 2026. I have explained everything in clear, simple language. No legal terms, no complicated government talk, just the essential facts you need, explained like a friend would. We will go through exactly what has changed, who qualifies, how much money is involved, and what steps you need to take before deadlines arrive. If you appreciate someone finally being honest with seniors about their finances, hit that like button now and let's go through this together. Now that you understand how important this is, let me guide you through it step by step, piece by piece, because you deserve the complete picture, not just headlines. Let's begin with the biggest question on your mind. What exactly did Congress approve? And why does it matter so much for seniors, disabled Americans, and millions who have been depending on government support in 2026? The answer has several layers, and it is important that you understand each one clearly because every part directly affects your monthly income, your purchasing power, and your ability to plan your financial future with confidence. The law that was passed represents one of the biggest changes to the Social Security system and related federal benefits in more than a decade. This is not about small adjustments hidden in a massive bill that nobody reads. These are major structural changes. Changes to how benefits are calculated, changes to eligibility for certain payments, changes to how cost of living increases are determined, changes to how SSI recipients are treated under the law, and yes, even provisions tied directly to stimulus-style payments aimed specifically at low-income seniors and disabled individuals who missed out on earlier relief programs. Before we dive into the exact numbers and details, it is important to understand why this happened and why now. For many years, advocates for seniors and people with disabilities have been raising concerns that Social Security benefits have not kept up with the true cost of living for those who rely on them most. The standard cost of living adjustment, known as COLA, is based on an inflation measure that many critics say does not reflect how seniors actually spend money. Older Americans spend a larger portion of their income on healthcare, prescription drugs, housing, and food. The costs in these areas have increased much faster than the general inflation numbers used for COLA calculations. At the same time, SSI, which supports the lowest income seniors and disabled individuals, has been operating under outdated benefit levels and rules, some of which have not been properly updated since the 1970s. Asset limits, income rules, and even penalties related to marriage have remained unchanged while living costs have surged. Many SSI recipients have been receiving monthly payments that are not enough to afford even basic housing, let alone food, transportation, and medical care. That situation could not continue, and Congress finally took action. So what exactly has changed? Let me explain the key parts one at a time, starting with Social Security retirement benefits, then SSDI, followed by SSI, and finally stimulus payments, since each group is affected differently, and you need information that applies directly to you. For Social Security retirement recipients, meaning those who paid into the system during their working years and are now collecting benefits, the biggest change involves how COLA is calculated. Beginning in 2026, adjustments are tied to a different inflation index designed specifically for people aged 62 and older. This index, known as the CPIE, or Consumer Price Index for the elderly, places more emphasis on healthcare and housing costs, which are areas where seniors spend the most. The result is that COLA increases in 2026 are higher than they would have been under the previous system. And for many recipients, especially long-term beneficiaries who have seen their purchasing power decline over time, the difference is meaningful. We are talking about extra money in your monthly check that can add up over a year and noticeably improve your quality of life. The law also addresses long-standing rules known as the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset. These rules have reduced Social Security benefits for millions of people who worked in certain public sector jobs or positions that did not deduct Social Security taxes. These policies have been controversial for decades. Many workers, including teachers, firefighters, police officers, and other government employees, spent years serving their communities only to see their Social Security benefits reduced later. The new law modifies or removes these reductions in some cases, meaning many beneficiaries will see an increase in their monthly payments. For some, the increase could be significant. If you think this may apply to you or someone you know, pay close attention because you might be entitled to additional money and may need to take action to receive it. Now let's discuss SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance. This program provides benefits to workers who become disabled before reaching retirement age and who have paid enough into the system to qualify. The changes here focus mainly on two areas: how disability is defined and how much beneficiaries can earn without losing benefits. Regarding disability definitions, the new law requires the Social Security Administration to modernize how claims are evaluated, especially for conditions that have historically been overlooked. This includes certain mental health disorders, chronic pain conditions, autoimmune diseases, and other issues that may not always be easily documented but still significantly impact daily life. If you were denied SSDI before because your condition did not fit the old criteria, you may now have a better chance if you reapply. On the earnings side, the law raises the threshold for what is considered substantial gainful activity. This means individuals receiving SSDI can earn more income without immediately risking their benefits. This is especially important for people who want to try working again, but have been afraid to do so because earning even a small amount could affect their eligibility. The higher limit provides more flexibility and security, allowing disabled individuals to test their ability to work while still maintaining their safety net. Now let's move on to SSI, Supplemental Security Income. This area includes some of the most important and long overdue changes in the entire law. SSI supports seniors age 65 or older, as well as blind or disabled individuals with very limited income and assets. Unlike Social Security, SSI does not require a work history. It is strictly needs-based and serves some of the most vulnerable people. The asset limits for SSI have remained at $2,000 for individuals and $3,000 for couples since 1989. Think about that for a moment. Since that year, those limits have not increased at all, while living costs have skyrocketed. This has forced recipients to remain in poverty, unable to save money or build any financial stability without risking losing their benefits. That system was deeply flawed. Under the new law, asset limits are being significantly increased and will now adjust with inflation over time. This means recipients can finally save small amounts, build emergency funds, and have some financial breathing room without losing eligibility. There are also updates to how income is counted, including part-time earnings, family support, and in-kind contributions like food or housing assistance. Previously, help from family members could reduce SSI payments, but the new rules ease those restrictions, making it easier for families to support loved ones without affecting benefits as severely. Now let's talk about stimulus payments, which many of you have been waiting to hear about. Yes, the new law includes direct payments similar to stimulus checks, targeted specifically at Social Security, SSI, and SSDI recipients below certain income levels. These are not universal payments like those issued during COVID. Instead, they are focused on seniors and disabled individuals who have been most affected by rising costs and insufficient benefit increases. Payment amounts vary depending on income, benefit type, and household status. Those with the lowest incomes, especially SSI recipients, are expected to receive the highest payments. Social Security and SSDI beneficiaries with lower incomes also qualify, though amounts differ. Here is something very important. Most payments will be sent automatically based on existing Social Security records. You will not need to apply again. However, if your contact details, bank information, or tax records are outdated, you could face delays or miss your payment entirely. It is essential to verify your information as soon as possible. I also want to warn you about scams. Whenever there are benefit changes or payments, scammers try to take advantage. They may send fake messages, emails, or calls pretending to be officials. Remember, the Social Security Administration will never ask for sensitive information or fees over the phone. Always use official channels to check your benefits. Finally, understand that while this law is not perfect, it is a step forward. It brings more money, more flexibility, and better protection for millions of Americans. Now is the time to stay informed, take action, and make sure you receive every benefit you are entitled to.